Hi friends, welcome to my channel. My name is Corina. I am one budgeting wifey here on YouTube, and today we are talking about the big elephant in the room. Something that you may be wondering if you've been following along with my channel for a while, and that is what in the heck has happened to our Dave Ramsey journey. What baby step are we on? Where are we at with our debt snowball? What happened to our debt snowball? What are the Madriagas doing with Dave Ramsey? Let's go ahead and chat about it, shall we? Let's get started. All right, friends, so like I said, my name is Corina. I am one budgeting wifey here on YouTube. I am a wife and a mama to a sweet little boy, and I do work full-time outside of the home. My husband and I have been on a journey to debt freedom and financial freedom for just over 3 years. And within that time frame, we've had our first son. We have purchased a home. We have done things a little bit out of order and a little bit against the advice of Dave Ramsey and the baby step process. So today I thought I would just come here and share with you guys kind of where we are in the process with the baby steps, if we're still following them, what has been going on, and kind of what life has looked like over the past year since having our son. So this really is going to be like transparency to the max. It's really a time for me to just be totally vulnerable and honest with you guys. I can honestly say that for the last year, we have been completely not focused on our financial journey. Now, we did do a Financial Peace University course with some friends in our home earlier this year. So we did that towards the end of last year, like November, through the beginning of this year, 2019. So it took us about maybe 3.5, 4 months to get through the program because it was just us with some friends, so it was pretty casual. But since going through the program, my husband has really come on board and he's really become a great partner in our financial journey. Prior to this, I was really leading the charge, and my husband would sign off on budgets and he would be willing to agree to whatever our goals were for the month, but he wasn't necessarily putting forth a lot of his own opinions or things like that. He's definitely much more the free spirit when it comes to budgeting, and I am more the nerd. And that's totally fine. That's actually pretty normal within a marriage to have one of each type. So like I said, since our son was born, we've really become very relaxed on our budget and just budgeting in general, our finances in general. We haven't really accomplished too much of our goals as far as our debt freedom journey goes. And that's really been kind of a setback for us. Obviously things had to be adjusted a lot with having a child and introducing new costs like daycare, and our son had to be on formula because I couldn't produce breast milk, which totally went against our plan. Our daycare costs ended up being pretty much double what we expected them to be. So it really threw off our budget. And now I feel we've gotten to a place where we are adjusted to that, to those numbers, to those changes. And our son is actually now about to be off of formula because he is going to be 1. So some things are loosening up in our budget. And like I said, we've gotten used to the costs associated with having a child. So honestly, over the past year, I really feel like some things have contributed to us not being as focused on our finances as we should have been. And those things are primarily laziness, being tired as new parents, being stressed. And honestly, it's kind of counterintuitive because we were stressed about our money because we weren't budgeting, we didn't have a plan, and we didn't have a plan because we were stressed. Like, it just kind of goes back and forth, right? So it felt hard, it felt overwhelming, especially for me. I felt like I was just at a point where I was just tired. I was tired of budgeting, I was tired of setting goals, I was tired of living so strictly and not being able to loosen up the reins on our budget, not being able to buy our son like nice things or, just a random little thing here and there. And so really we just got lazy, and all I can attribute this to is just ourselves. It's just our human nature, and it just is kind of falling back into those patterns that got us into the mess that we were in the first place. So not a good look, right? Not a good place to be. But like I mentioned in the beginning of this video, this is really just vulnerable, raw, real stuff, and I just want to be completely transparent with you guys. So my husband and I are actually getting ready to sit down this evening, and we're going to go over our plan for our money, and really get back on track with things. And in doing so, what my plan And what you're going to see here on my channel is things are going to change a little bit. Things are going to be maybe a little bit more casual, but they're going to be a lot more transparent and a lot more vulnerable. We really need to get back to our goals, because when we were on track with our goals, we were accomplishing huge things. I mean, when we set our mind to something, we accomplish it, no questions asked. We are willing to sacrifice and do whatever it takes to get to those goals. But I know we have to have those goals set and to be working towards them as a team in order to get there. So it's something that we're not afraid of doing. We're not afraid of the work that it takes to get to our financial goals, but we have to set them and really be strategic and specific about reaching those goals. So what you're going to see here is, like I said, a little bit more casual kind of style videos probably, because honestly, our camera broke and we're not at a place to replace it. So I'm just filming on my phone, full transparency. But we're going to be sharing things that are just more real and more transparent. So not necessarily like pretty things, right? Like I love to do those monthly budgets for you, but they take a lot of time because I like to make them pretty. So it's really going to be a lot more like down and dirty, just simple budgeting, real life stuff, because we're busy. Kiki is having a field day right here playing, because we're busy and we don't have time to do all of the pretty stuff that we may have had time for before. All right, friends, so along with those lines of kind of what the videos are going to look like, we're going to be sharing things like what we're spending each week, and really getting back into our cash envelopes as much as I don't really want to, and also kind of the impromptu budget meetings that we're going to have. Things are going to be a little bit more relaxed, but they're going to be more transparent and hopefully more helpful for you. The whole reason I started my channel was because I wanted to find a place on the internet that was some encouragement and offered real life solutions to this budgeting situation, and real life examples of how families were actually implementing the baby steps in their lives, and some people that I could relate to, someone who's young, who's starting a family or maybe wanting to start a family. And that's really the life that my husband and I are in. We're not quite 30 yet. Well, actually my husband is 30. I just turned 30 last month, and I'm still in my 20s. Praise the Lord. But I'm getting there, you all. I'm creeping up there. But we do have a son now, and so we are a small family, we're a young family, and we are really just trying to set our lives up in a way that we're able to live the best life that we possibly can and provide the best life we can for our son, for any future kids that we have, and for our fur baby Kiki. So in doing so, I have really been looking at our life as a whole currently, and over the past few weeks, I've been looking at things like minimalism and what we can do within our home to really streamline our finances, but also streamline our stuff and just really get to the heart of what it means to us to be a family. So spending time together as a family and having that quality time and not letting our stuff get in the way, and allowing more time for family activities rather than cleaning and chores and all of these things, and just like managing the stuff that we have. So I've really been diving into minimalism and just cleaning things out, getting stuff out of our home and out of our lives that we don't need. And so you'll see some of that on my channel as well moving forward. You'll see what we're selling. You'll see how we're organizing things and how we've streamlined some things in our home and things like that. But I do feel that minimalism is really kind of spurred me back onto wanting to get just kind of things in order for our whole life. And a few examples of those things I do want to share with you guys. There are a few basic principles that I've been learning about minimalism that I feel like are really helping us to streamline our finances as well. And the first thing is that less is so much more. When we have less stuff, then we're able to do more as a family and more things that we enjoy, and we're able to spend less time cleaning and managing our stuff. One thing that I've learned recently from another YouTuber is that everything that we bring into our home, we have to manage. And as the wife and a mom, we're typically the managers of the things that come into our home, whether it's groceries, whether it's clothing, whether it's just cleaning supplies. Anything that comes into our home, it has to be managed. And we are typically the ones who manage it. And so I know that everything I bring into our home, I have to manage. I have to find a home for it. I have to find a use for it. I have to figure out, the lifespan of its usefulness. How long is it going to be good for? How long will it serve our family? And so on and so on. So the list is really quite extensive. I also have to figure out if there are other things that we already own that serve the same purpose. So I've really been looking at what we own and really paring down the items that we own so that we're able to manage them better, and also make sure that what we have are things that we actually love and enjoy and are using and that are useful to our family. The second thing is that to keep things simple, that's simplifying our life and our stuff just in general. So I've been going through all of my belongings personally, as well as just our household items in kind of a systematic order, and just getting rid of things that we no longer use or no longer really serve our family. So we've been selling things, we've been just giving things away. We are able to use up what we have and really not purchase new things until we actually have a need for them, not just a want. And I really feel like looking at minimalism and just kind of a holistic lifestyle, and not to say that like we're ever gonna own 4 forks because there are, going to be 4 people in our family, like nothing like that. But just looking at it from a holistic point of view of making sure that what you do own really makes sense for your life and your family. Doing that has really brought about just a sense of being able to buy less because what we already own is enough. And looking at what is enough and what does it mean to have enough. And also looking at our wants versus our needs. And I really have felt like looking at our items from a minimalistic perspective has really reinforced the concept of wants versus needs in my own personal life. I am a shopaholic, I am a spender, I will shop till I drop, but really looking at the things that I own, again, like I can just think like personally my clothes, just going through my clothing and seeing what do I actually like to wear, what actually fits, what actually looks good and feels good, and running to those things time and time again, and knowing that those things are what's useful for me right now, rather than just having a closet full of clothes just because there's extra space. So looking at those things and seeing what is useful and what truly are wants versus needs. I really don't have any clothing needs that I can honestly say. So all of my needs are met, and if there's something that is a want, then it's something that I need to pay for out of my personal money. It's not something that I can just write off as a need anymore, because I really have a clear understanding of my wants versus my needs, probably better than ever before. And that's something that I think is hard to grasp, especially living in the US. We have such an excess all the time. And I just think that this is something that can be beneficial for a lot of families. Okay, so back to minimalism here. So the other thing that I've really learned and that we're learning as a family is to just enjoy what we have and who we have, and to really live in the present moment rather than in the future. And that's something that as a goal setter and as a planner, I can really get stuck in living in the future rather than living in the present and just enjoying the moment. Having our son has really reinforced this for me and really shown me this in such a good way, I think, because, there are times where I'll be cleaning or just taking care of things around the house, and he'll come over and put his little arms up, and I'll pick him up, or he'll kind of try and grab my hand, and I'll just go and sit down with him, and he just wants to snuggle. He just wants to be in that moment with me. He's not worried about, cleaning the kitchen or, what's going to be for dinner. He's just worried about that present moment. And that's really been such a good eye-opener for me, is just being present and being more present and focused with our family and with the people that we have and the people that we love and with the items that we have as well. So that is so those are just a few ways that minimalism has impacted our financial journey, and a little bit of an update as far as our Dave Ramsey journey goes. Now, we have accumulated a little bit more debt, which I hate to even say that, but honestly, from this point forward, we are really getting back into the baby steps. This is like baby step 2.0 for our family, and we are really going to be like pedal to the metal, all out, gazelle intense from here on out. So we're going to be coming with you guys. So look forward to some updated numbers coming shortly. And again, just real kind of raw, transparent videos a lot more frequently than in the past. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this. I hope you're excited for this continuation of our journey. And I hope that this makes sense to you. If you relate to this, leave me a comment below and let me know that you are excited for just some real budget stuff and just real life budgeting tips that we're going to be sharing with you guys. Thank you, friends, so much for watching. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe so that you can go along this journey with us. And if you are an old friend but a good one, thank you so much for coming back, and be sure to leave me a comment below. I'll talk to you guys soon. Have a great day, friends.